Nobody's here.
Huh?
Nobody's here. Well, hello. Welcome to Drawing with Fire. I'm Valarie, your neighborhood pyrography artist, and I'm drawing with Hubby.
Hubcap.
And today we're doing the dark clouds. So hopefully, well, it's running, so it appears I fixed it. Yay! Sunday we had a very, very hard time because things didn't want to work. But now it appears fixed. So that's awesome. I am going to switch over to my 18 small, bump it down to 1, because we are working on the dark clouds in here. I finished blocking in the first layer of the smooth sky, and then I started going back over it. It's probably going to get a third layer. I started going back, I did the first layer with the 18L, and I started going back over it with the 23 medium spoon shader.
Sheila's here.
Hey Sheila. Hopefully, did YouTube tell you we were live? Because, yeah. After Sunday's mess up, I'm not sure what's going on. But at least it's working now. Can you hear us okay? Because I think I fixed everything. And I don't know how blurry it is. On my screen, it's not. But hopefully it looks good for you. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to zoom in the camera, get it out of my face, because I need to angle my wood. And plus I want you guys to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to tilt this so that it's easier for me to handle. Then I also see I need to go up. All these fun things.
She got a notification.
Okay, good. Because it's odd that we've only got 2 people in here, and one of them may be you.
It is me.
It is you?
Yep.
Huh, that's so weird. Alrighty, so 18 extra small on 1. It's still going to burn pretty good because of the way the tip is made. Right here, we've got our darkest cloud. So I'm going to just start with just the tip. Start blocking it in. Now I re-angled my easel. We'll see if I need to keep it here. Because when I was trying to burn flat, it was hurting my wrist by the end of the last live. So I re-angled it, and that helped.
She says great picture and sound here.
Awesome. Thank you. I spent 3 hours after our snafu on Sunday for the secrets. They didn't get their live.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened or how it happened, but it happened. So I'm just using the tip, and this can have texture because it's a cloud, so we can have texture in here. So if you don't have this, you could use a large ball tip as well. It'll help you get the puffiness of the clouds, a bit of texture. Now, this part of the pattern was really a lot, the clouds.
Why did you say that?
Because there's just so much to put in, line-wise.
Kathy's here.
Hey, Kathy. Alrighty. We got some darks on this edge, so I'm trying to darken one side. Again, does not have to be smooth. In fact, shouldn't be smooth because clouds aren't. Or these clouds. The dark ones aren't exactly smooth. They're all getting fussy because they're getting ready to let it go. But we know that this cloud needs to be close to the sky tonal wise. But since I'm still adjusting the sky, I am definitely going to have to come back and work on the clouds for some of the area. Because like above here, you see here we've got a light gap. But up here we actually have a lighter cloud. So I'm going to move quicker. But then there's a little bit of a light strip in between. So I'm going to darken this side so that we get that light strip. It's one thing with clouds, I don't really think you can mess them up.
Shirley's here.
Hey Shirley. You just need to get those tonal values right. The shape, I don't feel even matters. Because no matter, even if you kind of get off on the shape, it still looks like a cloud.
Yep.
A bit of texture, and definitely the right tonal value.
Well, I mean,
Will make it all work.
if you like did hard edges and
Well, yeah.
angular, they wouldn't look like clouds. But I know that's not what you're talking about.
No. So remember, I put the white as I was transferring the pattern to make sure I didn't lose it. Kind of keep my bearings. This is a lighter one. Again, since I haven't finished the sky, my clouds are going to have to be a bit adjusted. See right here, I just got off on the wrong cloud looking at my pattern. This is where my brain thought we were. But if I didn't tell you, you wouldn't have known. But I tell you guys, that way you know. Everybody might get a little off on their pattern.
Yeah.
When it's a complicated bunch of things going on.
Yeah.
Totally normal.
It's hard to keep that sorted out sometimes.
I just went to the wrong angle in my brain looking at the pattern.
Gotcha.
No big deal. So Carrie asked me, I hadn't responded to his question yet on YouTube. The white, is the white General's charcoal pencil, not a pastel. Pastel has a different kind of binder. Though you can use the pastel after you burn. It will come off a bit when I go to clean up the board and whatnot. But because I pushed pretty hard, I pushed it into the grain, that even in erasing, it's still going to be there so I can still see it. And then I will reapply it. So it's just a visual point so that I know these are where my lightest areas are, and I kind of don't want to lose them, even if I did, I could put them elsewhere and it still would totally make sense. Based on the feeling of this picture, I want to keep that feeling, so that's why I did it. So just as I was transferring, when I got to an area of my pattern, and Carrie has the pattern because he's a super toasty, the color, the pink color, purple color, is where the whites are. So I just lifted my pattern, and after I drew the lines that go around it, and added my white. It took a little bit of extra time just to make sure I had it right, but it was time, I think, well worth it. It will make my job easier. See, right here we have a lighter cloud, but still dark, so what I'm going to do is go around it, darken up the area around it, and it will stand out. Then I won't lose it when I go to erase. Once I get enough in, erase I will. So right here we have Well, actually, we're going to stay away from the lighter clouds because that's next week. So scratch that, rewind.
Okay.
We'll bump over to that next week. Remember, by putting this burn in now, I can up my temperature to go a little darker, but as long as I control my pen speed, I'm good. And as I was putting in the sky yesterday, I was trying to think of the best way to explain what the first layer is. And the first layer of any burn, if you're working in layers, is, think of it as priming. You're priming the wood to take and it's taking the burn, and then you're going to go back and adjust it. So it's kind of like a primer. It's getting these fibers ready for darker areas.
Okay.
Without, because one thing I don't like about if I just turn my heat up to the temperature I think the burn's going to be, I don't like when it is too harsh, has a bit of overburn going with it. And I'm trying to think of the way, almost like it creates charcoal because you went too hot too quickly. And I know some people on YouTube do it, and that's their choice. I don't like it for my art. I want it to have the subtle stuff. Alrighty. Just trying to get my bearings. This area is lighter. We have a dark right here, like the darkest part of the clouds. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to up my temperature and just go back over where I've already burned so you can see how I can adjust it. Which really is like, I always show you guys. Alrighty. So this is my darkest. Make sure I have all my base area in. This is a lighter area of burn. This one's not as dark here. We have a little bit of dark. Oop, that went way dark because I had my pen up too off the board too long.
Oh, what's your heat right now?
This pen is at 1.
Oh.
But I was holding the tip and it completely...
Carrie's here.
Hey, Carrie.
Not too late, Carrie.
No. You know what? We can use that. So I'm actually only going to bump up. I think I only need with this tip to go to 1.5. Again, my other spear shaders are going to burn different.
Carmen's here too.
Hey, Carmen. So sorry, guys, about my Sunday. Alrighty. So I'm doing more half tip. Getting a little smoother because I do have a lot of ovals going on. So I'm just a little smoother. I don't want to remove all of the texture. That's what makes it look like a cloud. And then we'll bump down to the horizon clouds. As I said, those, I guess, the horizon line. So we'll bump down there. Now the reference I'm using it right now is my reference that I printed is the photo, but it has my outlines on top of it, just so it's easier for me to find the shape I'm looking for.
And I noticed it's not the sepia one.
No, no. That's for tonal value right now, so I don't lose what's what. I'm using the color with my outlines. I don't think I put that photo to pop on screen. Should have. Let's see here. Got a little bit more dark down here. And you see how it's starting to look more like a cloud. But this is a little lighter than it should be. So I'm just going to go over it. And remember, I will fully adjust this when I get the sky in. And I have it at the tonal value I want because a few of these clouds are really close. If we look at our sepia that's right here, a couple of these clouds are like really close to the sky. Not quite, but they're there. So I want to keep that ability to adjust. So I'm going to actually flip upside down so I can go along this line. And I'm going to go ahead and bump back down to 1 just so I don't get any blobs. Pull my heat from my pen.
Now, when you're pulling heat from your pen, you're just tapping it?
I'm just wiping it on my
on your test board?
On my test board.
Okay.
Alright, so we got our darks along here. Moving quicker just so I can keep it somewhat light. Although it is, looking at the water, it is darker than the water.
And you have it at that angle just for control, right?
Yep.
Okay.
It's just a little darker. In fact, if I look at the tonal value compared to some of the clouds, it's close. It's in between this one and this one. So I can actually go darker right on the horizon line. And since I've already burned it, it's a little more, it's easier to control if the blobs are going to happen.
Yeah.
Because I've tempered the wood so it accepts the heat. It's like, okay, fine. Go ahead. Burn me. Now, I'm trying to see. I have a darker line that I can always go back and darken because it's a really thin, fine line right up against the horizon that goes lighter.
Which tip are you using right now?
This is the 18 extra small.
Okay. I just thought it looked a little different.
So I'm just pulling up the clouds. Blending them out from the horizon line.
I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm. And see, as we get further, they kind of lighten up a little bit because the next line of clouds at the base of the cloud is darker. So we lighten it up a bit. I'm going to have to go back and very carefully darken that horizon line a little bit. But for now, just to get it laying down. And I am half tip flat, going in circles, but I'm still going up and down the grain, even though I'm going in circles, kind of like with the dark sky. And let me flip it so I can get my bearings. So this is a dark cloud, this is a dark cloud, this is, and that gradient lightens up to the dark. But the base of this one is darker. And then it goes lighter. Clouds are silly this way. So I know this is darker, so I'm going to go ahead and guess the tip and get it in. So it's a bigger cloud, so it'll be easier to adjust below that cloud. Guess the tip and more the top half of the tip. Going a little bit slower. See, some of my... I know it can be hard seeing what my hand is doing in regards to the pen. Let's see here. Alrighty, caught it. See, and I left my pen off the wood too long, so I very quickly just swiped it on my test board, and that's just enough to pull some heat. And if it was still a little too hot, because I like have a higher heat setting, so it's a little bit more than just touching down, I'll blow on the tip as it's coming in contact with the wood. And that's just a half second of cooling it off, because it'll recover its heat quickly. But by that time, I'm already moving across the wood. So I'm flat. Yeah, and since I've re-angled my easel, going flat is a little easier. All right. Get some of that in there. It's darker. Here I'm looking at. See, I'm covering it up actually with a reference, so I will assume. Right. So this, just the tip getting into the small area. Yeah, these dark clouds are really going to make the lighter clouds pop. Smooth it out a bit, a little dark on the top of here. Now I am going to have at least an eighth of an inch mat board coming in, because that's how I frame my pieces. Sometimes they're a quarter, other times it's an eighth of an inch. Alright, so we got this darker cloud in. The water down here is darker, so we're going to very quickly darken it up. We do need that light line. Now we're going to flip. So it's easier for me to get to the edge. See, as dark as I went right there, I'm going to have to make sure I do that further along.
Jo Bell is here.
Thank you, Belle.
And she says, fire!
Fire! Alright. Let's flip it back and blend it up. So right there, I just blew on the tip in order to keep it from going too hot, and then I'm letting it reheat, although it doesn't look like it. Then we need to erase some of this graphite so I can see. Trying to keep this line as straight as I can.
Looks straight.
Right, let's very quickly just erase this bottom part. So that I can blend it up.
Shirley is loving the very detailed explanation of all the steps you're taking to do the clouds.
Oh, thank you.
That is how you roll.
That's how I roll.
Very detailed.
Might get a little dizzy, but that's how I roll. Alright, touching down on my board, my test board, as I get a lay of. Alrighty. Let's blend this out. Because this is more of a wispy cloud.
Okay.
So I need to kind of try to make sure that there's no harsh lines. Harsh lines, looking at this, harsh lines do not equal wispy clouds. So
No.
regardless of what kind of cloud you're doing, if you're going for a more wispy cloud, then make sure you don't have any harsh lines. You're kind of blurring it out. All right, flat, moving quickly. I got graphite right there. But that's okay. Move over to my darker area just so I don't get a blob. Reshaping the cloud a bit. Again, it doesn't matter if it isn't exact. When people look at it, they know it's a cloud because of the tones. And shapes in general. I mean, clouds are never perfect. They're perfectly not perfect.
Joe Bell says y'all should stream every day.
Ugh.
Well, with all the projects that we have going on, that might be a little difficult.
And I decided to do a new project.
Hmm?
Mm-hmm.
What new project?
I gotta get it done before June 12th.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm gonna actually have a deadline on this one. I got some cool news. I mean, cool for me, not so much for you.
For the Toasties or for me?
No, for me.
Oh.
I don't get to go to very many concerts. But I found out one of my top 4 bands is coming in June. And they only come here about once every 4 years in general.
Yeah.
But because of how life happened over the last 2 years, 2.5 years, they weren't here at all because they couldn't be. So I need to make a burning, or I'd like to make a burning for Warren Haynes.
Mm.
I've wanted to burn him for years.
Sounds bad.
I know, it does. I wanted to burn one of my favorite singers for years. But since I would like to. Well, I also need to do one for Michael Fronte, I think. Music helps me work, so it's just my way of showing my appreciation to them for the art that they create.
Carrie says it's so relaxing watching a master at work. Well,
thank you.
I'm just reading chat, but I appreciate that you like my technique.
Thankfully, you haven't put anybody to sleep with your special voice.
No. I want people to subscribe, not fall asleep. Carmen wants to know which band.
Government Mule. Warren used to be the lead guitarist for Allman Brothers. Mm-hmm. So, and he has my top 2 songs. Being somebody who hurts constantly and feels weak at times, he has created an anthem that speaks to me, for me. Like he's singing to me. Alright, I've moved it over. This is lighter, so I'm moving over just to block in some of these darker clouds, and then I can go back down and blend it up this way. I can get rid of some of the graphite. Alright, so this is a darker cloud. And then I can move back down here to really blend it up.
Carmen, it wouldn't be silly if you didn't know the band. I
No.
didn't know who they were until I met Valarie.
They're an indie rock band, though they have a very big...
I wouldn't call them indie. I would say they are very, very well established.
Well, they are. Doesn't mean they're not indie. He started his own record label.
Yeah. They're one of those bands that has massive talent, but
Yes.
not a
They have a very dedicated following.
dedicated following. But they're not maybe as well known because they're not mainstream music.
Yeah. Though they have been played on the radio, actually.
Well, they have, but their music is more in the home in the 70s probably. 60s.
No. They're just...
Well, if you like the Allman Brothers,
yeah.
it's going to be serious. Yeah, because Warren is like, he's rated one of the top guitar players in the world. So.
Yes, he is. And he has sung Happy Birthday to me.
Yeah, he did.
He did. To me, to my face. That's like the one time wood burning really paid off for me.
Oh, yeah.
It really paid off for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've met him 5 out of the 6 times I've seen him.
Yeah. Spence says hi.
Hey, Spence.
Here.
Get some of these. Yeah, he's saying happy birthday to me. Because they were here the day before my birthday.
Yeah.
In what, 2015?
Was it?
Yeah, that sounds about right. And the reason my burning paid off is I was interviewed for the local newspaper in 2013 because I was a new artist here up in Flagstaff for a big It's Elemental show. And so Deandra did an interview with me. So I got a large spread in the newspaper, and her and I became friends. And he asked if I would do some coasters for her now husband. And she wanted them a special way. And I didn't want to charge her a lot of money for what I was doing. And she still worked at the newspaper, so I was like, hey, I will trade you 4 coasters for 2 backstage passes. So he got me 2 press passes, and we went backstage, and he sang happy birthday to me. It was the day before my birthday.
And I was there also.
Were you?
Yeah, I know.
Yes, you were. We have pictures of you with him. Yep. That was just so awesome. Made my birthday. Alright, so now I'm trying to blend up. It is darker down here, so I'm flat tipped. Darkening this area, but remember that horizon line is the darkest line. So as I darken it, which tends to be, oops. I don't like that. But you know what I get to do with that? I just make it look like another dark cloud.
There you go.
That's right on the horizon line.
Yes, Carmen, that was very cool.
It was.
Hard to calm Valarie down for a little while after that.
Well, we still had the concert to do. And I am always front row, just to the left of the center mic. Because he's always at the center mic. Center left mic, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a very nice guy. But hey, because of me, you got to meet Dana Fuchs, who, what's the name of the movie?
Across the Universe.
If you've seen Cross the Universe and there's a lady singing that sounds in the movie, he does Janis Joplin songs.
Well, she didn't do Janis Joplin in the movie, though.
No, he doesn't. What songs does she do?
It's all Beatles songs.
Yeah, that's right. It is. My bad. My total bad. Anyway, she's got the long curly hair in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
You got to meet her because I figured out how to do that. I have a long... Let's see here. I still kind of need to pull this one up. Now, looking at my reference, this area of the horizon line is as dark as this area of the horizon line. So I need to fill this part in just so I don't have a white right there. And come over here because this part needs to be darkened. Anyway, her name is Dana Fuchs. And you got to meet her in Tacoma.
Yep. That was pretty cool.
That was cool. He's sung with Warren too.
Yeah.
And then you actually did a painting for her.
Yep.
And he saw the painting and
got to do prints.
got to do prints.
Yep. And we still have a bunch of...
We have a video of her signing it at one of her shows for one of the people that bought the print.
Yeah, we got a bunch of limited edition prints for...
Kind of feel like you need to do either redo that one with your even better skills or a new one.
Yeah.
Especially since she has 2 kids now.
That's true.
And that was based off her song Songbird,
Mm-hmm.
which is based off her sister choosing to leave this world a little earlier than... So right here I have a cloud that I need to connect. I connected it here, but it turns out it connects to this one over here. So what I'm going to do is connect them.
It's windy.
Yeah.
It did rain last night. I
did.
don't think it snowed. Because it was supposed to snow, right?
It still can. Alrighty. So now, right now, we have very similar tonal values. So I am going to go completely flat with my tip and just kind of darken some of the areas a little bit more so we get the feeling of clouds. This is really light right in here. This, watch what happens here. So because we have a dark, more wispy going around this area, not all the areas are dark in here. We've got where there's more clouds, there's a little bit more dark.
Kathy says, gosh, that is looking amazing.
Oh, thank you. Now, we just created the light area. I'm going to do some drag down for some of the area that looks like it's raining. And those are just flat drag down strokes. And then fill them in. So now that we've got this, we can see how dark some of the... Oop, camera. Is my hair on the camera?
I didn't. Just a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit.
Peekaboo.
Yeah.
Peekaboo. There we go.
It's funny.
So let's do a little bit of erasing because I do still have graphite. But now that I see the tonal values of what I just put on here and how far it goes up here, it appears some of this needs to go darker.
Would you say when you're really focusing on the tonal values a lot that you get tonal vision?
Yes.
Good. Good.
The bum bum. Dad yoke.
That's what I'm here for.
Dad yoke. So this cloud is like closer to here. So I'm going to quickly darken this. And flat, just to keep it a little smoother burn. Because I don't see, and remember this is about what you can see and what you can't see.
Yeah.
You don't see some of the variations as much in here.
Oh, thank you, Jobel. Look at the screen.
Oh, thank you. I got a sticker.
Thank you so much.
I got a sticker. I like stickers.
Oh, God.
So right on the horizon line, just the tip. I'm still at 1, but you can see how much variation I'm getting, and that's based on what area the tip is touching down and how fast I'm moving my pen.
Spence says he's really bad at tonal values.
No, you're not. No, you're not. He does a very good job.
I think that, we're all our worst critics.
We are.
Or, not worst critics, harshest critics, but also could be worst critics.
No, I'm my worst.
Well, yeah, you definitely are. But
I am.
Yeah. And you're also my worst critic.
Hey. I am not harsh to you.
I know.
If I see something, do I tell you? Yes.
Yes, you do.
Because I know if I didn't tell you, you'd be upset with me if you caught it later and you had already varnished it and you're ready to hang it and then all of a sudden you see it and I didn't tell you, you would be upset.
That's true.
The same with me.
That's true.
I would rather know where I could adjust and have it feel more the way I envision it versus getting it done and then getting it varnished and then having the vortex of cuss words go off because I caught something.
And I think that's important to have somebody like that in your life.
If you can.
That
but that's also what
has
the
a
group's for.
A vortex of cuss words. No. That is able to give you honest critique, because a lot of people, like especially family and close friends, like they can be over complimentary, and they can lead to an artist feeling overconfident about their skills, maybe that they not ought to be.
And then when somebody nicely tries to help,
it can lead to stagnation, because if everybody around you is complimenting you,
you got nowhere to grow.
Yeah, you're already awesome, so, just continue doing what you're doing. But if you got somebody who's, hopefully...
Who does it correctly.
Yeah.
And that's a big...
Then that's really important, because then that helps you improve your work. So...
As long as they're loving and caring about it.
Yeah.
And praise your strong areas in the burning as much as, if not more so, depending on the person.
And that's what you do for me. You're like the Simon Cowell. You're like,
oh,
that's terrible, but I love you. I'm like,
no,
oh.
that has never happened.
No.
That has never happened. I would like to think that the Toasties, they know better.
They know better.
That I am never like that.
I may have fabricated something.
You
it may
think?
not be specifically the truth.
That may be how you feel when I tell you, when I say something. That may be how you feel.
Actually,
but that is not how I say
how
it.
I feel is best described by that one commercial. I forget what it's for, but it's an older commercial. It's a guy painting. He's painting on a football field, and he's like doing it all diligently, and he gets up and stands up, and the guy walks up to him and he says, "Oh, that's really great, but who are the chefs?" You know, it's that moment that I feel like when you're like, "Oh,
and so Keith's got it.
Yes.
Take me a second.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna kind of blend this dark area, make it looking like a cloud, like the rest of the area. And only you guys know, because I told you.
Yeah. Kathy says, I know I'm my worst critic.
We all are.
Shirley says, would the XL spoon shader be too big to use for these clouds?
Well, let's find out. I would rather tell you yes or no, having done it. So he's saying extra large?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh. See? And that's what you get with Valarie. You get...
If I don't know, I will find out.
Yep. Spence says, what I like is that Val will not only say what you're doing well, but she will also suggest areas where she could do more or change something.
I try because I never want anybody to feel like what they did was wrong.
Right.
Or that they're doing a bad job. We're all at different levels of our journey, and nobody needs to be told negative stuff. It just, regardless of where you are in your journey, nobody needs to hear it in a harsh, negative way. That never helps. I know if somebody talks to me that way, the vortex of cuss words goes off, and
Still there.
Oh, it's always there, but it goes off.
It got reinforced on Sunday.
I did good in the scheme of things.
You were thinking them.
I was thinking them, yes I was. All right, Shirley, so I'm at 3 with the extra large spear shader, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to have an issue.
So Shirley says that her XL spoon shader has a different profile than what she expected based on what she has seen of yours. Can you show your most recent tool profile before the end of the life?
It's right there.
Oh, okay.
See, I had the old tester, and I knew that was causing issues.
So is this the standard model?
This is the standard. I sent him back my testers, and he gave me, or replaced them with the standards.
Gotcha.
Because I knew Shirley was having a hard time trying to see. Especially when I'm saying, this is different than what you're going to get. So I just thought it'd be easier that way. Both profiles absolutely work. So, yep, this works just fine. Just fine. Right now I'm more flat versus up on the edge.
When it comes to being self-critical, I think this is true of every artist, is that you are far better than you think you are, and you're not as great as you think you are. You're somewhere in between. You're somewhere in between there.
Ouch!
Except for Valarie.
She's
totally great.
No. I do not have that kind of ego. I might give myself a little pat on the back here and there.
But you're far better than when you stress out. You're doing far better than you think that you are, because you're doing beautiful work. I would say though that you don't have, you probably don't have that super ego to that extent where you're like, man, I'm awesome.
No. I know when I'm comfortable with my work and myself.
Yeah, I don't either.
Versus, alright, so Shirley, this pen totally works. It's doing a good job. Again, this is at 3. I guess on the setting. But because I knew this pen, and the end has more metal, even though it's flatter, it's going to require a little more heat. This is just the end of it. I can get into small areas.
Carmen wants to know if she can send you a picture that her hubby took. Has stars, storm clouds, lightning, all in one picture.
Sure. But am I judging the photo, or am I just enjoying it for what it is?
That is a good question.
Yeah, just so I know.
We're about 9 minutes from the top of the hour.
So I'm using this pen now to smooth out right on the horizon line. This is the horizon line. So I can use just the edge to get a sharper line, and then go flat to blur it out.
So the XL is working okay?
Sure is.
She says you can enjoy it or even use it one day.
Ah, okay. Awesome. I wouldn't use it without asking for permission first, and I would always ensure,
Hey, Moritz.
hey Moritz, to give proper credit.
You ready for tomorrow, Moritz?
Nothing in regards to me.
No.
Before people are like, wait, what?
No, there's nothing going on with Drawing with Fire. This is my thing.
That's your thing. All right.
It's business.
Different kind of business.
Yep.
So right along the edge, I can get a softer line. So actually, yeah, this pen is working quite well.
I'm going to take a look at that photo that she sent. Wow, that's quite dramatic. There's two-tone lightning.
Just click on the photo. That's cool. Just tap the... There you go. Well, tap it better than that. Thank you. Well, that is cool. Wow. Look at all the different colors variation.
It's a very moody and atmospheric
It is.
piece, I would say.
So you could do this photo, even though my photo is different, and still have very similar outcomes. Because you're doing the concept, not the actual same piece.
Puppies are like, hey, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
Mom. Mom.
So, yeah,
Mommy.
let's very quickly get the rest of this down here in. Oops. This will be easier to blend out if I go with the grain and go flat.
Carmen wants to know how would you do the lightning in that?
I would do the lightning the same way that I'm doing the lighter clouds in this. Negative burn around it. In order to... In fact, I did it with my last year's World Pyrography Month piece. I need to tighten it up, but I actually did lightning. The piece is over there on the second shelf. I think it's under the Grand Canyon.
When you say second shelf.
Basket, second shelf.
Oh, okay.
You'll have to lift the Grand Canyon. You're that strong, right? Lift the Grand Canyon. Get rid of some more of this graphite.
I'm not seeing it.
It might be under it. More.
I'm looking.
It is the goddess piece.
It's a goddess piece?
Yes, it's the goddess piece.
Oh, okay.
Careful.
Right here.
Careful. Don't knock them around.
Sorry.
It's the goddess piece.
I'm like Igor. Okay.
You are.
Yeah.
Eeyore or Igor?
You get what you paid for.
Eeyore or Igor?
Both.
This
actually.
is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
That's such a nice piece.
How does it her pen?
Huh?
He changed the design again? What, did you just now call him? Because I haven't talked to him in a couple of months. If he changed it, I will call him back.
Ooh, Pat's in trouble.
If he changed it from what? Shirley, can you send me a photo? The back of it, the profile and the front, so I can see what you have.
You got Pat in trouble. Ooh.
Yeah. So I'm not finished tightening this up, but I negative burned around the lightning. And when it's time, I will brighten it up in certain areas. But he hasn't even been erased right here because I'm still darkening the area. But that's how I would do the lightning.
You need to do a stream where we show all this work that you've done.
Well, it won't be a stream.
Because I completely forgot about it.
It'll be a standalone video.
Well,
I know. I'm horrible.
Yes, you are in this regard. I love you, and you're horrible. Horrible.
As long as you're not slamming the door.
I almost did.
I know.
I almost went to do that, but.
All right, Mary Catherine.
Mary Catherine Gallagher. Thank you.
I don't know how many people understand the reference. No. Okay, maybe now they understand the reference. Maybe now.
Hey, if you understand that reference, you've just aged yourself. And so have I.
Alrighty. So it's going to be a matter of just building up more of these clouds along the horizon. These clouds actually push back more into the sky. So that's why I went lighter right here. That way when I burn them, they're going to be closer in tonal value without any harsh lines. And that's how that's going to push them back and kind of make it. Because clouds, believe it or not, they are on some level transparent. Not always.
Well, they are.
But it's in layers. Just like our burning. It's all in layers. So the more there's a layer on top and on top and on top, it becomes more opaque. But when they're more spread out, they are transparent. And we see that more.
Well, it depends on the density of the vapor, too.
Yeah.
Because, like, when you're flying through crowds, people are screaming. No, when you're flying through clouds, you can see somewhat, unless they're very, very
fog,
dense.
in case somebody hasn't.
So from a distance, though, you're seeing all that, they're condensed, and so there's a lot of layers, so you can't really see through them. But as you get closer to them, you're going to be able to see through them. In fact, when you're, like, if you've ever climbed a mountain and you're in the clouds, it's misty and foggy, but you can still see, and that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. So, did I touch the camera? Because I set the camera just like this on the piece, but when I looked down, it was like this. And I don't remember. Did I touch it? Did I do it? Because I don't remember doing it. That was weird.
So winks.
That was weird. They'll tell me if I moved it and just because I was talking, I wasn't paying attention.
You've been watching too much Slap Cam. Colin is in the studio now.
Let's see here. Was the reference Shameless?
Shameless? No.
What reference?
I don't know. But I know Shameless, and I've never seen that movie / series.
What are we talking about?
I don't know, but it wasn't that.
I am so lost right now.
Yeah.
Did I do it? All right, so next week we are going to work on the lighter clouds. And when I mean lighter clouds, you know what? Let me make my reference a little bit bigger so you guys can see. I can't really point to anything. So if you look at the reference, and again, if you're just joining us or whatnot, you can get the reference photo off of Pixabay. I have that link down in the description. And the Super Toasties, the members get the pattern. They've already gotten the pattern. So looking at, I guess maybe I should cover us so I have a little bit of pointing room. Alrighty. So look at all these clouds that if you're just looking at the reference, they don't look as dark as down here. And that's because of the lightness going on in the center where there was lightning going off. Because that's where this light is. That's what the light is lightning going off. So even where it's lighter, other than the bright highlights, there is burning within those clouds. Even though they look somewhat white, and I know this is a more dramatic photo than my actual color. I'll just bump this down here. We'll look at the color real quick. Some of them, it's hard to see. I don't know how big it is on the screen for you guys versus what I'm looking at. But around the area where the lightning has gone off in here, there's much lighter clouds, but there is still burning in there. The only place that there won't be any burning is these high highlights. But we have to take into consideration when we do a light burn, if it is going to be the same tonal value as the wood once the wood has been varnished, and that's where wiping it really helps us with denatured alcohol.
Hey, see, that's what it looks like.
I don't know that I'm really explaining it very well.
I think you did.
Move it back over here.
I think you explained it just fine.
Okay. Okay, so there is burning around this area. In fact, these lines right here are gray. We're going to have to make sure to burn those in. But even where it looks like the cloud is white, it still has burning.
Yes.
You got to remember that. And when I'm talking about, because see here, everybody here. Shirley, just send me a message on Facebook through the secret group. She was hoping we didn't read that out loud. That's okay.
Well,
it's totally... There was nothing in that that's going to get Pat in trouble.
No.
I just need to find out what's going on.
Just being silly.
So I know. Yeah, it's just a matter of being silly. I can joke with Pat like that.
And if anything happens, it wouldn't be your fault. You can blame it all on Hubcap.
No, I take it. I take it.
But nothing's going to happen.
No, nothing's going to happen. But if things have changed, I need to know about it because then I need to adjust. So that's all that is.
Yeah.
He got it about a month ago. Okay. If anything, I will ask him to send me the new spoon shader so I can see the difference. It's probably going to be the best. And I'll see. Sometimes he changes things because maybe it's easier to make it that way because all the tips and pins are handmade. So that may be why he adjusted. So I will talk to him and see how it's changed and what's going on with that. So yeah, if you can just send me the photos through Facebook, I will find out what's going on. I haven't talked to him in a while, so I don't know.
Pat says looks awesome, Val.
Thank y'all.
Carrie says fantastic work, Valarie.
Thank you. Right now it's kind of a mess, but we're still in the blocking in stage. So it's going to be a mess, and that's okay. Got to be okay with that. So if you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe. And everybody say it with me. You know what to say. You're awesome. You can do this. Why? Because you're a pyro artist. Happy burning, guys. Bye. Food.